Hello, this is Jacqeem again from Crossover Project, and right now I want to share with you guys a little bit about my story and how I came to be the man God has called me to be now. And I feel like it's not over yet, but for me, growing up, I was raised by my grandmother. My parents weren't there. My mom addicted to drugs. My father passed away when I was 10, and I never really got the chance to know him anyway, but a month before he died, I actually got to see him the first time. Then a month later, he passed away, and so I was left with many promises that he left me with, but those are still, touching subjects for me, because I long to have a father. I long to have someone that I could talk to and play ball with, and so many things that he promised me that he would do to teach me how to drive. Those little things really hurt, and so I grew up very confused, lonely, angry, misunderstood. And as I got older, I didn't really know where to go. I didn't know who I can trust. So a lot of that growing up, really, I just needed someone to love me. I thought I didn't have the love. And as I got older and I got into high school, a lot of those things, because I didn't have, I ended up hanging out with the wrong crowds. I ended up, sleeping around with different girls, and I ended up started drinking and stuff, and I didn't know that was because I grew up in a neighborhood that was mainly about, a lot of the people I grew up around, it's about getting how many girls you get, and going out to different clubs and all that. That's what I grew up knowing about, but I knew that wasn't what I wanted. But yeah, I was caught in this trap, and I didn't know how to get out. And it was until a friend of mine ended up losing his life one day at a party. And to make a long story short, I went to his funeral, and I ended up hearing the pastor talk about our dreams and how we're all here for a purpose, and how God has a plan for all of us, and how my friends got cut short. And just a month before that, I had thought about taking my own life, and I was only 20 years old. And just hearing the pastor's words about our dreams and how we all should go after our dreams, because we never know, tomorrow's not promised. And I ended up wanting to become a model, and so I went off to Vegas and thinking that I was going to become a model, and little did I know that God had a different plan. And I ended up meeting a man who took me under his wing. His name is Tim Robinson, and he told me that God is what changed his life. So I knew that I wanted a change. I knew if I went back home that I didn't want to be here anymore. I was gonna take my life. But he instilled in me something that I longed for as a young child, is someone to believe in me, someone to take me under their wing and encourage me, and to show me that I am special. And that's what Tim did for me. And soon after that, coming back home, I lived in Connecticut, he lived in New York. He ended up allowing me to come see him, and he brought me to his church. And I didn't really want anything to do with God, but I knew that I wanted to be around him. And for some reason, this guy shined, and he was just a great person to be around. And as I continued to get to know him, I just wanted to be more like him. And then he told me it was God. It was God is the reason why he is the person he is. So I wanted that too. And a year later, I ended up giving my life to God, and he has given me a heart, and given me a heart not just to live for myself, but to give back, and made me see that things that I've been through growing up, not having a mother, not having a dad, not having a family, that those things weren't personal, but they were purposeful for what I'm doing now in the Crossover Project. And that's giving back and giving these kids, these young men and women, just a sense of hope and a belonging, that they are here for a reason, and that God has a plan for their lives. And to this day now, I go to work every day in Harlem to show these kids that they're special, and that they're amazing, and that they have a purpose in this life, and that God is there for them, and he loves them so much. So that's a little bit of my story, and it's only a few chapters of that, and I know God is still writing the story of my life, and I'll share more later. But thank you for listening.